40 feet, roughly. Most of these big mature ones would probably stay if they're not showing any signs of decay, damage, rot.
Also, you need to remember that we have to pile all this dead material somewhere, and you don't want to see burnt trees after we burn. So we have to cut more green stuff, otherwise they're going to get burnt anyway. And I'd much rather cut them now than, you know, oh my God, they killed all our trees when we were burning. You have to create space. There's so much material here that they're going to be hundreds, thousands of piles on your guys' property, and so you have to make space for those. Some things need to be cut, even some live aspen, especially the little stuff, we're gonna have to cut those and build a pile right on top of it. There's just no other way around it.
So you just said something interesting. You said most of these are over 30 feet, so if they're healthy, you would leave them even though they're in the 30-foot radius. So I guess my question is, like, how are you deciding which healthy 30-foot trees to leave?
Again, this one is tied up in the aspens. This one has its...
These are dead, right?
Those are all gone, yep.
Yeah. So like then you've got this tree that's the closest aspen is like 10 feet away. I'm guessing that is like, so these aspen are going to.
Well, come and look at the crown. You can see how they're competing at the top. It's you know, it's kind of that whole take a step back and look.
They're going to stay, if at all possible. Spruce are going to stay, if at all possible. There's not very many of them. We're going to take out white firs a lot of the time.
Because
we're going to take out subalpine firs
because
a lot of the time.
Because why?
They're less desirable for this area, for the aspen stand health. They don't cooperate as well as a lot of the other trees.
And they're getting infested by pests. Right?
That's a big one of the reasons. Yeah.
That's what I was wanted to hear.
Is that an example of a dizzy kind of fir? Is that?
Oh, it's really hard to
dead
tell.
fir here?
Yeah.
I would guess white fir. It looks like it died from the top down, so that's a pretty classic sign of fir engraver. So if I had to guess, I would say white fir, and so that's my final.
We've got boreholes here from some kind of beetle.
So those same pests don't attack the grass. But the diversity of the forest seems to be having conifers, aspens, all this other low growth stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What goes after the aspens? What if you take most of the conifers out and you allow the aspens to just go wild? Isn't nature going to do something to the aspens to kill them off? Is there something, you know?
Eventually, perhaps, yeah. There are some pests out there that are affecting aspen for sure.
We had a fungus on them, I don't know, 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Oyster scale. Yeah, there's a few things for sure. But opening the stand up allows them to have vigor and resist those pests, right? A choked forest like this, any beetles, any fungus, something that wants to attack, it's going to come here. This is weak. These trees are struggling. The intent is to give them space, vigor, and promote the next generation, right? As we saw on this side, there were no aspen shoots coming up, nothing growing to replace what's going to die. And so you have to kind of plan for your future, and maybe it's the future of your kids or grandkids, but you have to give it the best chance you can.
I mean, it seems like aspens grow like crazy here.
They do.
I mean, on our
Yeah,
property.
absolutely.
And
There's
eventually,
more aspens down than anything.
they would choke out.
For sure.
Like, you're seeing basically what a super late stage stagnated aspen stand would look like. Imagine all the firs are gone and it's just aspens choking out the canopy up top. You would have all these dead ones that have succumbed to pest or choking the forest floor, building up a dry fuel load, and eventually when fire did come through, it wouldn't be a really low intensity fire that leaves the aspens alive. It would kill them all. And then everything would fall down, decompose, start over. So that is, aspens do get checked in the same way that the rest of the forest does. At a certain point, there's like a tipping point where there's too much dead and down on the floor of the forest for the fire to remain at that low intensity that they can survive. But it's, 60, 80 years of the aspens flourishing, growing, and some members of the aspen colony succumbing and building up on the forest floor.
Has Talisker approached you guys at all about